should we send a memo to the president? Isn't the stock market up because the stock market believes incorrectly that he lost, and there's going to be a split government with Mitch McConnell keeping an eye on Joe Biden? Isn't that why it went through 30,000? Isn't that why it's on a roll?
Well, it's on a roll. Steve, I will say, in order to be fair, the stock market's only about 2% higher than what it was in February. We didn't break the big number of 30,000 in February, but we came close. The Dow is about a little more than 18,000 when President Trump got elected. But I think the market's going up largely because we're offering free money. M2 growth is growing at 24%. Interest rates are zero. And it seems likely that we're going to spend more money we don't have in the next administration. So all of that adds up to short-term good feelings on Wall Street.
Yeah, because the Fed refuses to take the punch bowl away, which used to be their stock and trade. I want to go back so our audience understands something. Because this is a number that people really haven't quoted a lot since, I think, the 1970s. I think since Paul Volcker. Remember, M2 was a number that everybody tracked. Tell our audience, what is M2, and why do really smart guys like Jason Trennert really look at that number now, and why is that growth so scary for the deplorables that are the core of our listening audience?
Well, M2 is a measure of money in the system, and it includes demand deposits like checking accounts, but it also includes money market funds. It includes other forms of money, and it largely is controlled by the Federal Reserve and by the Fed keeping rates zero. Also, the Fed is buying enormous amounts of assets on its balance sheet. The Fed's balance sheet, the assets on the Fed's balance sheet have gone from $4 trillion this year to $7 trillion. That happened largely in 2 months, from February to April. And to give you some sense, it was that figure was $800 billion before Bear Stearns failed. The reason why it's important to the members of your audience is that it is some measure of the purchasing power of your dollars. And the dollar actually is weakening. The dollar has weakened since Election Day. And what worries people eventually is that you'll get inflation. If you continue to print money you don't have, you'll get inflation at some point. And that's in the short term. If you don't have much inflation, you have more money that's being added. It's very good for risk assets like stocks. But in the long run, it tends to erode the purchasing power of the dollar, and it tends to hurt savers. It's very good for rentiers. It's very good for people that own financial assets. But it over the long run, it's not particularly good for people that are savings.